Is your credit score giving you nightmares?
I told you to call.
If you have a credit problem, it's not gonna fix itself.
That's right, and for those of you that think denial is a river in Egypt, this program is for you.
FixMyCreditDVD.com has worked for me, and I know it'll work for you.
All I did was watch the DVD, follow the simple instructions, and I got my life back.
I couldn't get credit anywhere. Now I constantly get credit card offers in the mail.
Get all 3 of your credit reports absolutely free.
Learn how to read and understand your credit report,
We'll show you how to raise your credit score.
and how to maintain and build your credit.
My credit score went up 56 points.
We were finally able to buy a new home and it felt great.
I love our new home.
When I went to buy a car, I found out just how bad my credit was. The interest rates were so high, I couldn't afford the payments. But thanks to FixMyCreditDVD.com, now I'll be driving the car of my dreams.
No gimmicks, no membership fees. It really works.
Without a doubt, it's the best and most affordable solution out there.
A bad credit report can prevent you from getting a job.
Or even renting an apartment or a home.
No matter what your credit score is, you need
FixMyCreditDVD.com.
Good credit, poor credit. This works for everyone.
It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. FixMyCreditDVD.com. FixMyCreditDVD.com.
Welcome to FixMyCreditDVD.com, the simple and easy do-it-yourself credit repair system. I am going to take you step by step and teach you how to build and maintain your credit, how to read a copy of your credit report, how to establish credit if you don't have any, how to remove derogatory information like collection accounts, charge-offs, judgments, late payments. I can even show you ways that will help you remove foreclosures as well as a bankruptcy. I will teach you strategies that can help you increase your credit score by 30, 50, or even 100 points. All you have to do is follow my simple instructions and you will be on your way to better credit. Credit in this country has changed forever. There was a time you could buy a car with bad credit or very little credit. Well, those days are over. In many cases, you need a 700 credit score just to buy a car. Let me tell you a story that makes me feel good. I had a client in the market to purchase a car. He needed 50 points in order to qualify. After using our system, he got 80 points, 80, and he was then able to buy the car that he always wanted. I have helped so many people improve their quality of life, but this DVD was created for the millions of people that cannot afford to pay high credit restoration fees or simply don't want the hassle and expense of a monthly payment program.
About 6 months ago, went to buy a car at the dealership, found out my credit was shot. Salesman at the dealership recommended FixMyCreditDVD.com. Within a matter of months, my score jumped 80 points. Now I drive the car I always wanted. Thank you, FixMyCreditDVD.com. You worked great.
In this country, there are 3 major credit reporting agencies. They are Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Now, these 3 companies are paid to gather and store information on how you pay your bills. They are paid by banks, insurance companies, utility companies, and other financial institutions. Every time somebody runs your credit, you will always have 3 different scores. And the reason for this is that the credit bureaus don't share any information with each other. So it is possible to have information on Experian that is not being reported on Equifax. Whether you're a college sophomore, a 40-year-old bachelor, or married couple, everyone has a credit rating, good or bad. Whenever you apply for credit, your FICO score will ultimately determine whether or not you are granted credit. So if you have no credit, that's the same as having bad credit. And the reason why is creditors want to see a history of how you pay your bills. So if you don't have credit and you need to build your credit, Here are 4 ways you can begin to do so. One of the simplest and easiest ways you can begin to build your credit is to obtain a secured credit card. All you have to do is go down to your local bank or credit union. Ask them if they offer a secured card. They will take you step by step through the process. Just make sure that the credit card you get reports to all 3 credit bureaus. One of the most powerful ways you can begin to build your credit is to become an authorized user on someone else's account. If you know a family member or a friend that has good to great credit, ask them if they wouldn't mind putting you on 2 or 3 of their credit cards as an authorized user. Make sure you inform them you have no intention of using the credit card, taking possession, or knowing the account numbers. You simply want to inherit their good credit. I had a client that was in the market for a home, but his credit score was too low. His father put him on 2 of his credit card accounts as an authorized user, and his credit shot up 100 points. I am telling you, this works. Smaller retail stores can be great places to begin to build your credit, and the reason is they don't scrutinize your history as much as larger department stores will. Car lots, furniture stores, small jewelry stores are all good places to begin to establish your credit. Just make sure that any place that grants you credit reports to all 3 credit bureaus. Have you ever heard of the term, if you don't use it, you lose it? Well, that applies to your credit as well. Once you establish credit, it is very important to stay active. Now, I'm not suggesting you go out and spend $500 every week and put yourself in a hole. But for example, since you have to buy gas anyway, why not use your credit card once a week to purchase gas? Pay off a portion at the end of the month. Remember, you're just making the minimum monthly payment. That is how you're going to build and maintain good credit. You are entitled to a free copy of your credit report every 12 months. To obtain a copy, simply go to annualcreditreport.com and order one online, or you can write a letter to each credit bureau requesting a free copy of your report. Letters can be found on your data disk titled Free Credit Reports. Simply fill in the information, print, and mail to the addresses supplied. If you've already ordered a copy of your credit report in the last 12 months, you can still get a free copy under the following conditions. You were denied credit or you were charged higher fees based on a credit report. You are unemployed and certify in writing that you plan on looking for a job in the next 60 days. Your credit limit on a line of credit was suddenly reduced. You're on public assistance or a victim of fraud. On your data disk, titled Free Credit Report with Cause, you will find letters and all the information you need to guide you. If you're trying to repair your credit or simply improve your credit score, you probably have derogatory information somewhere on your credit report. It's important for you to know that derogatory information can remain on your credit report for 7 years, with the exception of a lost or stolen credit card with no balance, which can remain on your report for 2 years, and bankruptcies, which can remain on your credit report for 7 to 10 years. More detailed information can be found on your data disk under the file titled Derogatory Information. There are 8 factors that impact your credit score the most. Here they are in order of importance. Derogatory items like bankruptcy, collections, foreclosures, slow pays, length of time at present job, ratio of balance to available credit lines, occupation, professionals are looked upon very favorably, time at present address, do you own or rent, owners are given great consideration, age, if you're 50 or older, better for you, number of credit lines on your report. One of the most important things that you can do to maintain and build a good credit score is to be diligent. You should review your credit report for inaccuracies at least twice a year. One piece of inaccurate information can cost you points and be the difference between getting approved or denied for a loan. Make sure you keep your credit card balances low. If you carry a balance, try not to exceed 30 to 40% of your available credit. If you go over 50%, that will have a huge adverse effect on your credit score, even if you've never been late. Make sure to always pay your bills on time. One late payment can cost you as much as 50 points. Make sure to pay down and close accounts that you don't need anymore. If you don't have many accounts, then keep them all open. Don't over-apply for credit. Every time you apply for credit, your credit is being run, doing damage to your FICO score. Let me give you an example. If you're shopping for a car and you go to 5 car dealerships and each dealership runs your credit 3 times, that's 15 new inquiries on your credit report, and I gotta tell you, that is most likely going to lower your credit score. Whenever I get a new client, the second question I am asked after how much will it cost is how long will it take to repair my credit? And the answer to that question is threefold. It depends on, number one, what is the extent of the damage? Are we talking about bankruptcies? Do you have foreclosures? Are we dealing with late payments or even collection accounts? The extent of your damage will play a big role in how long it's going to take to repair your credit. Number two, what is your time frame? Are you in the market to buy a house in, let's say, the next 4 to 6 months? Or are you trying to refinance a mortgage in the next 2 to 3 months? Maybe your car broke down and you need a new car like yesterday. Regardless of your situation, the length of time it will take to repair your credit will dictate how you tackle the problem. Number three, how much money do you have available to pay off any accounts that need to be addressed? Credit repair is definitely an art, it's not a science. Yes, it's possible to remove a judgment or a collection account and improve your credit score. But if your credit is really banged up, you're going to need to do a combination of things in order to see results. First and foremost, you have to be current on all of your accounts in order to repair your credit. It is impossible to do so otherwise. If you're in a situation where you're in over your head and you just can't pay your bills, perhaps you should seek the advice of a bankruptcy attorney. After you've gone through the process, you can then begin to repair your credit. If you have accounts that are severely delinquent, say 90 to 120 days past due, you may be better off letting these accounts be sold to a collection agency. And the reason why, collection agencies purchase your debt and they only get paid when they collect from you. So they are much more willing and eager to negotiate. 95% of the time, removing derogatory information will improve your credit score. There are those occasions, however, where the opposite can occur. For example, if you only have a few items on your credit report and you delete one item, you are in essence removing history, and creditors need to see history. This information can save you time, spare you aggravation, and help you get the results you need. Now that you have a copy of your credit report and you've identified all the negative information, go after the most recent items first. Current information will impact your score the most. A bankruptcy that's been on your credit report for 6 years will not affect your credit score as much as a recent collection account will. In fact, if you've been paying your bills on time, its impact will be minimal. The only way to remove derogatory information from your credit report is to dispute it. When you dispute items on your credit report, you are challenging the validity of that information as well as the right of the credit bureau to report it. Items that can be disputed are collection accounts, judgments, charge-offs, late payments, foreclosures, and even bankruptcies. You have a legal right to dispute anything you want. If you go to your data disk under the file titled Dispute Letters, you will find a letter for most scenarios in the order in which you have to send them out. Only dispute via mail, never online. The credit reporting agency has to respond in 30 days to any disputes received in the mail. There is no time frame in which they have to respond to an online challenge. Original creditors can be very inflexible. They tend to be multinational companies, and your one account just doesn't mean that much to them. I find that it can be very effective to handwrite a letter because it humanizes you and your situation. Therefore, if you go to our data disk and you find the appropriate letter, just handwrite it. There are 4 typical responses to your letters. Number 1, we've investigated your disputes and determined that this item does belong to you. What this means is that the credit reporting agency was able to verify the information. Number 2, we've investigated your dispute and this item will no longer appear on your credit report. This means that they were not able to verify the information. Number 3, the information we received is unverifiable. What this means is that the credit reporting agency was not able to contact the collection agency that is holding your account. They will then ask for 15 additional days in order to investigate. Number 4, the credit reporting agency may request additional information to confirm your identity. In cases when people have recently moved and the address on their driver's license is not the same as their mailing address, they will request additional information to confirm your identity. Failure to respond to a mailed letter within 30 days requires that the credit reporting agency remove that information from your credit report. People often ask, if I remove something from my credit report, can it reappear? And the answer to this question is, yes, it may. When you file a dispute with the credit bureau, initially, they may remove this item from your credit report until they can verify it. If they are unable to verify it, then it will remain off. If they do in fact verify it, it will most likely reappear. Whoa, I said reappear, not me disappear. In addition, it's possible for information to reappear on your credit report if it was sold to a collection agency by mistake. Even though you've paid an account in full, it is possible that your name, along with the names of others, have been sold to a collection agency. That is why it's very important to maintain good records. All you have to do in this case is show proof of payment, mail it into the credit reporting agency, and they'll remove that item from your credit report. The essence of credit repair is contained in these 8 important points. Dispute the item with the credit bureau. Wait for results from the dispute. Did the credit reporting agency verify the account? If not, the account should be deleted from your credit report. If yes, did the collection agency validate the account? If the account was validated, try to settle it. If not, send a follow-up letter to the collection agency requesting validation. Wait 15 days to see if the collection agency can validate the account. If they do in fact validate, try to negotiate payment for deletion. If they can't validate, demand the collection agency remove the information or you will sue in 5 days. Did the collection agency instruct the credit bureau to remove the account? If they did, great. If not, sue the collection agency. Credit inquiries are a big problem. Creditors have become so slick in their approach that in many cases, they've been able to run the borrower's credit without them ever knowing. If you're in the market to purchase something that requires you apply for credit in person, a good idea is to bring a recent copy of your credit report with you to each vendor that you go to. Once you decide which vendor you intend on doing business with, have them run your credit in order to finalize the transaction. Believe it or not, anyone that is considered to have permissible purpose can pull a copy of your credit report without your permission. These companies, groups, and individuals are potential landlords, insurance companies, potential lenders, employers and potential employers, companies you allow to monitor your account for signs of identity theft, some groups considering your application for a government license or benefit, a state or local child support enforcement agency, any government agency, someone who uses your credit report to provide a product or service you have requested, someone that has your written authorization to obtain your credit report. The strategy to remove credit inquiries is the same as removing negative information. Here are the steps. Get a copy of your credit report. Find the section on your credit report for inquiries. Look for any inquiry made that you did not authorize. Take down the creditor's information and look up their address and phone number. Write letters to each creditor asking them to remove the inquiry. Legally, unauthorized credit inquiries have to be removed. If the creditor sends you documentation showing you authorized this inquiry, write back saying you had no idea you were authorizing the salesman to run your credit. If that doesn't work, you can threaten to take legal action and call the state banking commission. I recommend you send all letters certified mail, return receipt requested. If the creditor does not respond within 30 days, you can demand the inquiry be removed. Make sure you send any proof that the inquiry will be removed to each credit reporting agency. Your data disk contains all the necessary information to walk you through this process under the file titled Removing Credit Inquiries. One of the most effective ways to deal with collection accounts and collection agencies is a process known as debt validation. Now, whenever you default on a loan or a credit card or any other debt for that matter, at some point it is usually sold to a collection agency. Now, when the collection agency purchases your debt, they are usually only buying your name, your address, and a dollar amount. Very rarely do they have any of the original documentation that links you to that debt. So if the collection agency cannot validate that debt, they cannot call you about that debt, demand payment on that debt, or report that debt to any credit reporting agency. Send a debt validation letter to the collection agency. If the collection agency can validate the debt, they will respond. If not, there's a good chance they won't respond. If they don't respond, they cannot continue to pursue payment. If they do send proof, it must be something concrete, like a canceled check or contract with your signature. If they are able to validate the debt and show it legitimately to be yours, the only thing you can do at this point is hope they're not licensed in your state. Otherwise, it might be best just to negotiate a settlement. Debt validation does not work with the original creditor. The original creditor will have all the documentation proving the debt is yours. On your data disk, under the file titled Debt Validation Letters, you will find all the letters that you need. A judgment is a court order filed by the plaintiff requiring you to pay a specified amount. Here are 3 ways to deal with judgments. Dispute the judgment by writing a letter to the credit bureau, questioning its validity and whether or not it even belongs to you. 80% of judgments filed contain mistakes, and in many cases, that can enable the judgment to be removed. If the judgment filed against you has been proven to be valid, the only option you'll have is to try to negotiate a dismissal in return for payment. Now, a dismissal will make the judgment legally void, and that'll look so much better on your credit report. If a judgment has been filed against you and you have a legitimate reason showing why this judgment should never have been filed in the first place, go to your local county clerk's office and file a motion to have the judgment vacated. You were never notified about the filing of a judgment. You were out of town and unaware of the court date. The judgment amount was already paid. There's a discrepancy in the amount of the judgment between you and the plaintiff. A bankruptcy is the worst thing you could ever do to your credit, and it should only be used as a last resort. It will stay on your credit report for 7 to 10 years. However, it is possible to remove a bankruptcy, and here's how. Courts will only verify information in person, and the credit bureaus are located in just 3 states. Therefore, it's unlikely the credit bureau will verify this information. Your letter will challenge the verification process, and if you threaten to sue, they will very often remove this information rather than deal with the hassle. After a bankruptcy, a foreclosure is the worst thing that could appear on your credit report. It will remain on there for 7 to 10 years. And the only way to remove it is to ask the bank to stop reporting it, and the chances of that happening are slim to none. So, dispute the item with the credit bureau the same way you would any other derogatory information and wait for a response. Or, you can threaten to sue the bank and the credit bureau for reporting this information. Oftentimes, a lawsuit or even the threat of a lawsuit can be very effective in removing derogatory information. If you feel that your civil rights have been violated by a collection agency, credit bureau, or creditor, you should definitely file a lawsuit. The good thing is, a lawsuit can be filed in small claims court, making it inexpensive yet very effective. Now, of course, we don't want you to be frivolous, so here are some legitimate reasons why you may file a lawsuit. Creditors. If they report your credit history inaccurately. If they pull your credit file without your permission. If they fail to notify you in writing within 30 days of inserting negative information on your credit report. Collection agencies. If they don't validate the debt, yet continue to demand payment. If you send them a cease and desist order and they keep calling you. If they call you after 9 p.m. at night or before 8 a.m., or call you at work when you have informed them that you are not permitted to receive phone calls at work. If they harass you or call your friends and relatives, you can sue. Threaten to garnish your wages or seize property. A collection agency does not have the right to threaten you in any way. However, the original creditor can garnish your wages and seize your bank account. Re-aging is a tactic used by both collection agencies and creditors to extend the amount of time to collect on your debt. If they change the first reported date of the collection to a more recent date, they are falsely extending the time they are allowed to collect on that debt. Credit bureaus. If they relist a removed item from your credit report without notifying you in writing within 5 business days. If they don't respond to your written dispute within 30 days and fail to remove the disputed item. You have 2 years from the day you learned about a violation or 5 years from the day the violation occurred, whichever comes first. This is why it is so critical to keep good records. Make sure you have phone records as well, and always mail your letters, return receipt requested. Let's face it, after your family and your health, what's more important than your credit? You can't do a thing without it. A life with good credit presents many opportunities. A life with bad credit is absolutely stifling. Here are some ways you can protect your identity and your credit. Online commerce has grown by leaps and bounds and is continuing to grow daily. Unfortunately, this has presented many opportunities for people who may try to steal your identity. When making a purchase online, always make sure the site is safe and secure and that your valuable information will be protected. Never underestimate the value of your trash. Always shred important documents before you discard them. Utility bills, cable bills, credit card offers, and especially credit card statements should always be shredded before you throw them out. Any letters with your name and account number on it can be used to steal your identity. Now that you've taken the steps on the road to a great credit score, you'll be able to negotiate the lowest possible rates and get the best possible prices. Always remember, be responsible with your credit. It's your lifeline.
It's as easy as 1,